The Star Wars prequels were awesome. I don't care what you say.
What are you talking about? The Star Wars prequels sucked.
Dude, Darth Maul, hello?
CGI.
Duel of the Fates.
Metachlorians.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Jar Jar Binks.
Hey guys, my name is Chris. We're about to have a serious debate here. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Don't get me wrong, hear me out. I'm in my late 30s. I've watched Star Wars all my life growing up. I like my left-hand Leia when I was growing up. I have a huge Star Wars collection. I have a Yoda tattoo. I live by the Jedi Code. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to Star Wars. Trust me. You can call me a nerd. You can call me a Star Wars dork. I don't care. I've been living with it my entire life. But I'll tell you this, I know what I'm talking about.
Hey guys, I am Erin and the other half of the Star Wars couple. I have been watching Star Wars when my parents taped it off TV onto their old beta VCR, and I've been watching it ever since. I was going to marry Han Solo when I was 4 years old. So I can pretty much quote the original trilogy. We're about to get into a really serious debate that may end relationships, and I think I have a bit of a heads up here because in his very own words, Chris said there's only one person that knows more about Star Wars than I do, and it's her. So I got my game face on. Bring it.
Gloves are coming off of this one. Okay, I met this girl 2 years ago. We've had this argument for 2 years. Over drinks, over dinner, and conversation. I personally I won't say love. I'm glad that the prequels came out. There's a strong reason. It answered all my questions. I had a lot of questions growing up, like, you were in the Clone Wars? I was asking, what's the Clone Wars? Or, we meet again, Obi-Wan. When did they meet in the first place? I want to know. She, on the other hand, has a different scenario.
I kind of accepted it. It happened. There was a history. I mean, I cared, but not enough to go crazy.
The prequels are great.
Right. Okay. It did answer questions. You are absolutely correct. The prequels answered questions, in my opinion, in a bad way.
I disagree.
I think that the questions could have been just the movie making themselves. No offense, George Lucas, you're a genius. I personally didn't like the way that they were made.
Okay, take the CGI part out of it. Take Jar Jar.
And you've got nothing left.
Bullcrap! You had Darth Maul, dude.
I could have just answered them on a scroll.
No way.
And you wouldn't even have to make the movies.
No, alright, look. It took place when it was a more civilized time.
Right.
I had questions had to be answered. I wanted to know when C-3PO and R2-D2 were all the original stuff. I want to know how Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. When it came to the end battle between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Vader, I wanted to see that. I freaking love that.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
However, for people that grew up with tangible objects,
like us,
correct, the original Star Wars trilogy, having an entire movie made completely of CGI, which you recognize and you see,
okay,
that was a little bit overdone.
Take away the CGI. Take away Jar Jar Binks. You had Darth Maul. You had Duel of the Fates. Mm-hmm. You had Yoda fighting Count Dooku. Hello, you see Yoda being a freaking badass, wah, kicking the shit out of Dooku, man.
Alright, for whatever reasons, there are parts that I know for a fact that you don't care for in the prequels, and there are parts that I do like in the prequels. We do have that. But there are certain things that we tend to argue the most about.
Okay, let's argue about midichlorian. Con, I'll tell you my pro. Con?
Con, I always thought, yes, the Force is with certain people, stronger, like it was strong in my family. My father has it, I have it. But to have it show up in a blood scientific thing, I didn't think was necessary. That, to me, this is the example that I use. If you're like, I'm a good dancer. It's in my family. My grandmother was a great dancer. She was in the ballet. My mother was a great dancer. We're just good dancers. And that'd be like, well, let me check your blood levels and see if you really are good blood. That to me, I was like, what? That's not necessary.
I like it because it just added to it. You know, you had the Force in you, and everybody has the Force in them. But some people are Jedi or Sith, and to me, the midichlorian just added to it. I liked how everything was growing up. Believe me, we're in our 30s, we know. But just to add more to it,
I just never, well, let me take a Gillette razor and let me see if you really
stop.
are.
Okay.
Like, that was a little, I was like, why are they...
You had Liam Neeson playing Qui-Gon Jinn. I love Liam Neeson. I think he's a great freaking actor, and to have him as a total Jedi was awesome.
Okay, well, now we're on the topic of good Jedis, people who played excellent Jedis. I have a point about someone who was maybe not the best choice to play a Jedi, which would be Samuel L. Jackson. When I think of a Jedi, the Masters and Guardians of Peace, I don't think of Samuel L. Jackson.
Use the Force, motherfucker!
Like, I don't... To me, that was not good.
Okay. It would have been have Christopher Walken playing Jedi. Whoa! Use the Force, please.
Yeah.
Wow!
Certain people are...
The Death Star is so big.
Certain people have characteristics that are Jedi-like to me. Although he plays great things and other things, he's not... So the Force is with this boy, or whatever he says, you know,
Personally, with me, I like to see people that are non-major actors to play the parts.
Yeah.
Like who was Rey,
yeah.
and who was Finn, and all these people that are unknowns playing these parts. Personally, I do agree with that, but with that said, let's look at the awesome things about it. You got to see Yoda, young, beating the crap out of Count Dooku and Palpatine. And in Episode 2, when you see Yoda fight excuse me, Count Dooku, I think that was awesome. You see how badass Yoda really is with the... Not to mention Count Dooku was awesome in that. I mean, without the prequels, you didn't have Count Dooku.
You can't really go in and say anything against Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee is like...
Another thing I like about...
Curse for life. You ever said anything bad about Christopher Lee?
The score. You had a great score in the original one. You had Duel of Fates and stuff like that. I loved it. Not to mention Natalie Portman.
Natalie... Yes.
That was awesome.
I like Natalie Portman. Some of the dialogue that was written for them to say was a little rough.
Okay, I'll agree with you on that one. But overall, I liked it. A lot of people, true. A lot of people hated it because it was all the CGI, which I'm not disagreeing with you. I didn't like CGI, but they wanted to do something new. I totally disagree with that. But with that said, it was part, as Obi-Wan Kenobi said, it was a part of a different time when things were more civilized, back in a better day.
Did he mean the world was more civilized?
Yes.
Or it was more civilly run? Like
before the Empire took over.
But I didn't think parts of it were uncivilized in the beginning, like, or in the original trilogy. Just because it was broad, they were able to make it more broader, more broad. Sorry, but it wasn't real. Like you know okay. From a production standpoint, not from a star.
Look, all right, let's take CGI. All right, hold on.
You can put CGI in it.
Let's take CGI and Jar Jar Binks out of the equation. You do not have a good argument after that.
What was left?
You had, like I told you, you had Darth Maul. You had Qui-Gon Jinn. You had Christopher Lee's
Darth Maul.
You had a young Yoda. You had Palpatine, who turned out to be, who was the original Emperor, turning into the Emperor. There was some cool stuff, man.
But not
to mention Order 66. You get to see how all the Jedis die. It was very heartbreaking, but you got to see what happened. You got to see the Clone War. That was so cool.
But it could have been done in such a better way. Like, okay, I can't compare it to, because the technology is different from the late 90s, which was when Phantom Menace first came out.
Jango Fett was awesome.
Jango Fett was hardly in it.
Jango Fett was better than Boba Fett.
I know you like Jango Fett. I just...
what?
No, I'm like completely lost. I'm like, where are we? Because you covered like 6 things.
I am covering everything. We have a little score sheet. Am I attacking him?
Alright guys, so obviously you both are very passionate on this subject. Kind of all over the place, not really being able to focus on one subject for too long.
Thank you.
So let me get in on this. Alright, Darth Maul, your pros and cons. Chris, I'll ask you first. What do you feel about Darth Maul?
Two-sided lightsaber. That was awesome. The song that goes with it, Duel of Fates, awesome. The character who played him was great. The fighting tactics, the quotes that he put, "At last we reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have our revenge." That's some serious stuff. That's almost as good as Luke, I am your father. Not to mention that, okay, he did die too quickly. We all can say that. But he did kill a Jedi, which is very hard to do.
Okay, Aaron, your thoughts?
Well, he literally knew what I was going to say and just said it for me. He was like, he was, why would you fill up the rest of the camera with a character that was annoying when you could have put more in of the character that everyone seemed to love, which was Darth Maul. He was played excellently. I do like Darth Maul.
Because you kill a Jedi, he has to die. That's the only way the great ending would have been. You got to have Obi-Wan Kenobi become the leader.
But I would have liked
Kylo
to
Ren.
see more of him. We all liked him, but I think he could have been in it more.
Watch the cartoons.
You
But
know.
still, I do too. Sometimes. But you had to have the leader pass so the apprentice can step up. And to
Correct.
step up, he had to kill Darth Maul.
I just wish he would have been in it more.
Okay.
That was my con to your pro.
Okay, so we got that. Now let's talk about Qui-Gon Jinn, the one that Darth Maul kills, of course.
I love Liam Neeson.
I love Liam Neeson. I'm really disappointed he died too soon. I really hope to see him in the next ones as the Force, because a character that strong with that many quotes deserves to be in the movie more.
Rhea is coming back like in Force.
Yeah.
He was good.
So you're
And he was a Jedi. He embodied the Jedi.
But the quotes he had in the movie, the lines were just beautiful lines.
And he could say the dialogue and say it convincing, which
Yes. Unlike
some other people's. That's crazy.
Okay, so you guys are in agreement that Qui-Gon Jinn was a good
Oh, yeah.
character.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
that was good.
Now, let's talk about the Gungan under the table. That was Jar Jar Binks.
God bless the guy that played him.
I feel bad for that guy.
Because I have yet to meet, maybe unless they're a child.
He probably doesn't put on his resume that he was Jar Jar. Everybody hates him that much. I mean, I feel bad for him. I don't know. I know they put him in for the kids, but it was so stupid to have somebody that and they put him in part
Who
two.
likes Jar Jar Binks anyway?
Raise your hand.
Oh, come on, guys. Jar Jar wasn't that bad.
Shut up, Joe.
Okie doke.